Episode 3 reminds us of Mr. Aduro's anger that turned violent during a heated confrontation over Mrs. Aduro's gratuity money. The situation nearly became deadly, but Mrs. Aduro, realizing she could not survive a prolonged beating at her age, made a quick and brilliant decision. She pretended to faint. Her strategy stopped the attack and forced neighbors to rush her to the hospital. Fearing she might die and unwilling to face the consequences or hospital bills, Mr. Aduro and his new wife fled the compound before dawn. What they didn't know was Mrs. Aduro was far stronger and smarter than they ever imagined. Suddenly, fear replaced his anger. Her eyes closed. Her body went completely still. The room became silent. Mr. Aduro froze. "Stand up," he barked. No response. He nudged her with his foot. "Mrs. Aduro." Still nothing. Suddenly, fear replaced his anger again. "What if she dies here?" he muttered. Just then, neighbors who heard the noise began knocking on the door. "Is everything all right?" someone shouted. Mr. Aduro's heart began to race. Behind the half-closed eyes of Mrs. Aduro, her mind remained alert. She could hear everything. "Good," she thought quietly. "Let them think the worst." Within minutes, neighbors rushed in and quickly arranged to take her to the hospital. Mrs. Aduro returning home stronger, of course after the little medication, and taking control of the property. Luckily, the other tenants, oblivious of her new rich status, decided to pay her the rent due. Weeks after running away from the compound, Mr. Aduro and the younger woman were living in a small rented room in another town. Life was no longer the same. The money Mr. Aduro had carried while escaping was almost finished. The expensive lifestyle he once used to impress the younger woman had disappeared. No more fancy food, no more new clothes, no more late-night outings. One evening, the younger wife stared at the nearly empty bag of rice in the corner. "Is this the last money you have?" she asked coldly. Mr. Aduro sighed heavily. "I told you things will improve soon." But she no longer listening. The admiration she once showed him had turned into irritation. "You left your house, your property, everything, and this is what we are living with?" Mr. Aduro kept quiet. For the first time, he realized something was changing. The younger wife no longer looked at him the same way. The secret plan, unknown to Mr. Aduro, the younger wife had already begun planning her escape. She secretly contacted a man from her past, the real father of her children. The same truth the neighbors and Mrs. Aduro had whispered about for years. Together they planned something bold. They would confront Mr. Aduro openly and end the deception once and for all. The final humiliation. One afternoon, Mr. Aduro returned to their room and found the younger wife sitting calmly. Beside her sat a tall man he had never seen before. Mr. Aduro frowned. "Who is this?" The younger wife smiled faintly. "Someone you should have met a long time ago." Mr. Aduro's voice rose. "What nonsense is this?" The man stood up slowly. "My name is Kelly," he said. "I came from my family." Mr. Aduro blinked. "What family?" The younger wife looked directly into Mr. Aduro's eyes. "The children." The word hit him like thunder. "The children you have been raising are his." The room fell silent. Mr. Aduro stared in disbelief. "For years," she continued calmly, "your wife and the neighbors kept saying the same thing, but you refused to listen." The man stepped forward. "I'm taking responsibility for them now." The younger wife stood up, picked up her bag, and walked toward the door. Before leaving, she turned back. "You were useful when the money was flowing," she shrugged. "But now the money has finished." The door closed behind them. Mr. Aduro stood alone in the small room. For the first time in his life, the truth had caught up with him. He rubbed his hands on his head, pacing up and down, and at a time he quickly supported his chest with his hands, and breathing heavily, he began to help himself with one of his hands, to avoid falling down from the shock of such kind of boldness from the two monsters that just left his room. Episode 4 is coming soon with Mr. Aduro coming with his family to beg after losing everything. Will it be a matter of apology accepted but access denied, or another twist?